Alright, hey guys. Timmy wanted me to go live, so here we are. Don't really know what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to let the viewers decide. So, just going to wait till at least someone joins. Devlin, you watching? What is the chat? Dude, I can't even read the chat, to be honest. I think you got, like, shadow banned or something, dude. I guess I'm just gonna talk about, like, I don't know. Q&A works. So, if you... Okay, unlike it right now. Like, just unlike it. Devlin, unlike it. So I know... Okay, thanks. Alright, so... Okay, do you want me to talk about... Okay, like if you want me to talk about... the foundation that we need to implement for fascism to work. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, I think the main problem that we have right now is that no one seems to be informed. Everyone just seems to be everyone just seems to be going after one particular party. So I think that's just a problem, is that no one really realizes that there's a third party. I think if people realize that there's a third party and third parties were campaigned better, like if someone campaigned in third party like Donald Trump did, or if Hillary, like they campaigned like Hillary did, I think we'd have a more winning and more prominent third party. So that's like one of the main issues. And a lot of people nowadays, they think that rights exist. I mean, yeah, your rights are protected, but if someone wants to kill you, then you don't have a right to life. You don't have a right to life like it says in the Constitution. You don't have a right to property if you get stolen, or like if someone steals from you. You don't have a right to bear arms if someone takes your guns. Like, I'm not saying I want that, any of that, but like, if someone will take your guns, they will, if they want to. But like, you don't have any rights. Anything can happen. You're not really protected at all times. That's just the problem. Okay, unlike it real quick, just so I'm gonna ask. Just unlike it real quick so I can like ask what I want to do. So do you want me to talk about like what we should do about like the race? You want me to talk about race? Like, if you agree. Okay, I'll talk about race then. So, I don't really see a problem with segregation as long as it's actually equal. You know, like, in the 30s and stuff, they didn't have equal segregation. So that was, racist and all. But, like, nowadays, like, it's so easy. We could just have separate schools, So, like, we could just do that. If I just cut off the video randomly, it's probably because I have to go do something. But, I'll go live tomorrow or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably go live tomorrow. But segregation, right? I just think one of the big problems with mixed schools, mixed families, is that no one really knows in mixed families, no one really knows what their race is. But in mixed schools, like, you know how, like, in your school, you know how there's always gonna, you know how there's always gonna be race fights, right? Someone says nigga, or anything like that, someone says cracker, and someone's gonna get mad, and then that's, like, a race fight, If they weren't even, okay, it's like, It's like battery, like not really batteries, but like it's like a like a thunderstorm, right? Like the entire reason that like lightning strikes is because the their negative and positive charges are combined, so they cause that to happen where uh like it causes a lightning, you know. So like what if we separated them? Then we wouldn't have any thunderstorms, you know. I mean, I'm sure it will still happen on the streets. There will still be terrorists just trying to kill the race because it's like an offensive thing to them or some crap like that. Now I'm no conservative. I don't call people libtards, but like you seriously got a problem if you're killing people because they're white because they oppress you. That doesn't happen. That happened. It happens. That never happened as a whole thing. Like slavery, I don't think it was really ever racist. I just think of it as Africa was an easy place to get slaves because they were selling it to them. And then it wasn't even about race. It wasn't because they were black. It's not that they called them racial slurs or anything like that. It's just that it was the easiest place to get them, the cheapest place to get them, and slave owners were willing to buy from Africa, which literally helped Africa, mind you. We sold them iron and guns. So I really don't see how this is either destroying Africa or just destroying the people as a whole. Because we gave them guns to hunt with. We gave them supplies to build with. We gave them tools to work with. And yet, somehow, we're the bad guys because we're oppressing the African race. Wow. And don't even get me started on natural selection in the slave boats, right? You know why it always seems like the black people are stronger than the white people? You know why that happens? It's because of natural selection. Not saying I'm like Hitler or something, but because of natural selection on the slave boats. Only the strong survive. You know what happened there? You know what happened there? All the black people are stronger nowadays because of natural selection and the genes from their ancestors. So, technically, we just strengthen them by far. And if you want to, like, be like, they didn't have no weapons to fight the white people off, the crackers, they're pressing them, taking their weapons. They were in full ability to be able to get a weapon. And most of the reason that people learn English and other languages is because of being around English and other languages. They full on had the ability to speak English. They did it on the farms. They invented Gullah, not as a thing of not being able to understand English, but it's basically a code to undermine the slave owners during that time. And mind you, they'll tell you that in school there was only white slave owners. That is entirely untrue. And that any slave that came into the South, or any black person that came into the South, was automatically sold into slavery, which never happened. You can look it up. There were many black soldiers in the Confederacy that fought for their Southern heritage, and it wasn't even hate them. They had black slave owners, and it was nothing to do with race. There was black slave owners that had slaves. There was black soldiers that we should very much respect that fought for their lives in the Confederacy against Union tyrannists. How much do people not realize? I mean, I get it if you're black, you're just like, my people were oppressed for 300 years. We couldn't vote. We couldn't even speak bad to our masters. We couldn't even have free speech. I mean, yeah, but imagine if we didn't have slaves. We wouldn't have the cities we have today. There would be no possibility of it. I mean, the entire reason our military is so good, one of the reasons is because of the Civil War, because of the invention of the submarine. And yet, I mean, I know it's from the Confederacy. The Confederacy invented submarines. Don't tell me the Union invented submarines. Because the Union had better schools. The Union are way smarter than those hicks. They have no self-respect. So, all you Southern boys are so stupid. You can't invent anything. The American military wouldn't have submarines if it wasn't for us. Any military wouldn't have submarines if it wasn't for us. Wow. And then you're going to say, oh, I was just grown up in the South, so, you got to be Confederate if you're in the South. I mean, yeah, it's kind of true. You should help a Southern brother out, but, you don't always have to be that. I'm just going on what I know about the Confederacy, what I've been told by actual people that have actual pictures that are showing you basically everything. There was, and okay, sorry to change the subject, but I hate it when people say the Confederacy was helped out by the KKK. First of all, the KKK didn't even exist during the Civil War, so the Confederacy and the Confederacy only existed during the Civil War, and the KKK only existed after the Civil War. So there's no way they were combined at all. So you can't even say that. It's just wrong, So isn't it racist to say every Southern person is racist because the Confederacy, some people were? And there were many racist people in the North. There was very full-on proof about it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that Robert E. Lee wasn't racist, and Abraham Lincoln was. Abraham Lincoln, there's a quote, and I don't know word for word, but this is just about it. He said, "If I could win the war and preserve the Union without freeing a single slave, I would do it." And you know what? Robert E. Lee said something else that was very anti-slavery. He said, and again, I don't know word for word, but I've looked it up. You can look it up. Anti-slavery Robert E. Lee quote, something like that, right? He said there was a terrible war coming, and these young men and women could die in the South or something like that. And then he said, I would free every slave in the Confederacy I would free every slave in the South to avoid this war. He very much did not want to go to war. He was a cooperationist. Now, the fire eaters, or whatever the Yanks want to call them, yeah, they did want to kill pretty much everyone in the North. I mean, those were the racist people. And most people were actually cooperationists. They wanted to stay with America. They just didn't want their heritage and way of life being taken over by northern aggressionists planning on putting factories and crap down there. We wouldn't have the stuff we have today if it wasn't for them. We have a lot of farms that could have been turned into factory fields. So, and then look at Charleston. Charleston is a mess of pollution just because of how many factories and things they have down there. It's just terrible. Okay, unlike the video real quick, I'm gonna talk about something else other than the race. It's just been going on a little too long. Unlike the video demo. Okay, I'll just end the video here. Timmy, you can watch later. It'll still be saved on the thing. So, bye guys. I'll do a video later. Tomorrow probably. I might go live tomorrow, but I don't know. All right, I'll just see y'all tomorrow at school. So, bye guys. I'm kidding now. That's very evil. All right, bye.